will never have affordable housing in this country again because people have built their wealth on real estate. This is a rough conversation to have because we all have friends who've invested in real estate. Our parents own homes. Our grandparents own homes. We're all being taught to build wealth through real estate, but that directly leads to the housing crisis that we have already arrived at, that we've been at for over a decade. We working class people, the ones who are the have-nots, we did not ask for class warfare. We asked for our fair share. You took it all. So now if we have to take it back, that might lead to some class warfare. But really, whose fault was that? Why is there no government national housing option for people who just want a $90,000, $100,000 home? And you might be saying, oh, that's a shack. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. The cost of materials to build a home, the land to build a home, not that expensive in a lot of places. In a lot of places it is.
Child, please. Hey guys, Robert here. Welcome back to the channel. Take a few seconds, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel and I appreciate you in advance. Also, for those of you looking to do anything with residential real estate, as far as financing is concerned, I've been a lender for 20 plus years and love to help you with that. My contact information is pinned to the top comment and the description of this video. Now, let's get into this. A lot was said and respectfully, you don't know what you're talking about. Let me explain. First of all, we've not been an affordability crisis for the last 10 years. Affordability started being an issue when the Federal Reserve or the government started printing a lot of money and buying mortgage-backed securities, suppressing the interest rates to a very low level due to the pandemic. So let's call it 2022 coming forward. This is when home prices shot up into the right due to supply and demand. Secondly, we have to stop assuming what affordability means because that's a relative term. What's affordable to you may not be affordable to me. And so because you may be in a situation now where you can't afford to buy what you want to buy, don't assume that's everybody and therefore stop making blanket statements because you do have people online that due to not knowing think that all homes are $400,000 plus. If you're watching and you're interested in this topic, let's have some interaction. Take a few seconds, pull up your phone, pull up your computer, laptop, browser of choice, and type in wherever you're living, homes for sale under 150,000. Do under 100,000 and you will find homes in your area at that price. If you listen to what she's saying, what the issue is, in my opinion, you want more than you can afford, respectfully. And what we have to realize is this: I might have to wait. I might have to produce more. Heck, I may not ever be able to get what I want. And we have to understand that when we do these things, we can stop demonizing what the government has done to benefit those that supply their housing. That's where the wealth was created because it's tied to inflation. And if you supply your own housing, if you look at the tax laws from a lens of they're telling me what they want me to do and I can benefit, then you see why the IRS has benefited those who are homeowners. Let me give you two examples. If you purchased a home and lived in it as your primary residence over the 2 of the last 5 years, and you're a single person and you sold said home and you made $250,000 net, well, you don't pay any capital gains on that. See, that's a benefit. But you got to get on the housing ladder. Number 2, if you're a married couple, you can make up to $500,000. People aren't selling. Well, let me take that back. I'm not selling. There's been a lot of hucksters and social media pushing you guys here and there because the money that they're making is based upon your attention. But folks like myself never have pitched home ownership as an investment, but it does have a generational wealth component because of what I just aforementioned. The question is, can you buy what you want, where you want to live? And is it affordable to you? That's the question that we need to start answering and stop demonizing the home ownership option, especially here in America, when we're able to leverage FHA 96.5%, meaning you don't have to put 3.5% down. You can't do that anywhere else. And I fear that it's not going to be until they take that away. You same people that are demonizing it are going to hop on and start talking about, oh, we can't finance anymore. You can't have it both ways. Now, for those of you that are not looking for someone to blame for your situation, but you do want to get on the housing ladder and do so the right way. The largest barrier in my experience, 23 years now, of folks trying to get onto the housing ladder is you don't have all of the funds that are needed to get into the home with the assumption that you can afford it. You don't have the down payment and the closing costs. Well, there are solutions for that. So for the rest of this video, we're going to listen to a couple of creators provide some solutions for those of you that want to get on the housing ladder with how to deal with that barrier. Let's check it out.
Okay, Vegas, you guys are used to me doing food videos, but let me tell you what I'm really good at. I just gave keys to a buyer who bought her house for $1,300. I'll insert pictures. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. We used down payment assistance to cover 5% of the down payment for her, and I got the seller to cover the rest of closing costs. So all she had to pay for was $1,300, an appraisal, and a home inspection. All in, she was under $2,000 to buy a house. So if you've been feeling discouraged, there's always ways to buy a house. Obviously, for a program like this, there are certain income limits and things like that, but the requirements are not very restrictive. I think a lot of people just don't know about these things or take advantage of them.
I love her take, and I agree. A lot of people just are not aware of these programs. So quickly, let's give you some tools that you can use. Where can you go to potentially find these programs? Your internet, great tool. Start with down payment assistance programs for whatever city that you're in. Then advance that search to your county, then state, and then you could go federally. There's programs that are available. You just have to make yourself aware of them. Then, in my opinion, what you should do after you've done some investigation as to what program might fit for you, then you need to really vet out a lender that is knowledgeable and has closed one of these loans. So how do you do that? YouTube, same way you're watching this, is a great platform. And any lender that's on explaining, teaching how a buyer should be able to use these programs, that's a great place for you to start, because now you can see if that person has the type of demeanor, communication skills, all the stuff that you're looking for, so that then you can take the next step and reach out to find out what the intricacies are to see if said program is a fit for you. Now, this next video I want to review, I want to do so and give you a cautionary tale when you're out doing your research and trying to find things on social media, because things can be presented in a way that they're actually not. Check it out.
I don't know about you, but think about how life-changing it would be to get an extra $25,000 to $30,000 just to buy a home. The money is out there. You just got to know where to find it. And so today we're going to find it. Okay. Today we're going to help out Mariah. She needs at least $25,000 to help pay for her down payment and closing costs. So come with me real time while we look for some home buyer assistance programs for her. And the very first one that comes to mind is one called the National Home Buyers Fund. This one gives you 5% of your home price. This would give Mariah $15,000. We're already over halfway, and that was just one program. So this next one is called the Home Ready program. This one gives you 3% towards your purchase price, which would be about $9,000. And it looks like, nope, Mariah does not qualify for this one because this one does have income limits and she makes just a little bit above. So we'll move on to the next. All right, so I think I found it. So for the state of Texas, they have this really good one. And this one gives you up to 5% of your purchase price, which is again another $15,000. I don't know if y'all been counting, but that takes us up to $30,000. Think about it. Think about how life-changing that would be.
Excellent video. Hits all of the sensory buttons in our body with the dopamine. But what it does, in my opinion, it implies, number one, that anybody can get these programs. Number two, you can stack them on top of each other. And there's just $30,000 out here. Now, I'm in the business. I understand what she's doing. She's utilizing the social media tools to build a list. But I think a lot of you guys are getting tired of that, because the whole purpose of social media, from the folks that I'm talking to, is like, why are you gatekeeping? Give the information. Well, either they don't know the information, they're able to go out and say, you know what, I'm going to build this list to monetize it in some type of way, or they're just guarding the information. So here's the deal. When you hear something that sounds too good to be true, it really is. And the devil is in the details, as they say. All of these programs have interest rates that you can't negotiate. Number two, most of these programs are silent seconds, meaning there's a second for the down payment assistance that's given, and that second has a variation of how it's forgiven, if it's forgiven at all. Because thirdly, there are some programs where you have to pay the money back at some point in time. She alluded to one of them. I'll get into it here in a minute. Just listening to those two things may prevent you from reaching out. I think if you know those things, it will prevent those from reaching out that shouldn't reach out, but those of you that should will reach out. And therefore, we're not wasting your time, your most valuable and my most valuable resource. And then lastly, the grants. Anytime you get a grant, typically those are reserved for people that are at the very, very bottom of the program guidelines, income-wise, to help those people be able to get onto the housing ladder. Otherwise, they would not be able to because of all of the barriers that they have. Once you know those things and implement some of the other suggestions that I've made, that will help you become a more educated home buyer. Ultimately, when you do decide to get onto the property ladder, you won't have this buyer's remorse that you hear all over the place where everybody's trying to scare you. And it's simply because they just did not get the proper information or they didn't want to hear. As I mentioned, a bonus, the Texas State Affordable Housing Corporation, the one that she mentioned above, all of those grants that she mentioned or the first time homebuyer programs have to be repaid. These are things that you might not know. Doesn't mean that it's not a good program, but you have to use those programs with a plan of action. I like to call it my exit strategy, that you can only get with a lender that you know, like, and trust, and one that actually knows how to present those things to you. If you want to know more about any of the down payment assistance programs in Texas, but specifically the Texas State Affordable Housing Corporation program, watch this next video here. For the rest of you guys, watch this video. It'll help you continue to educate yourself on your journey. And for everybody else, my time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, let's be good to one another. Let us let grace abound. And until the next time, indeed, y'all stay blessed.